Hello, everyone, and welcome to World of Tanks, and welcome to another Friday. Welcome. Hope everybody had a wonderful week, and we are at the end of the week now, and we are back in World of Tanks. Gonna go over some little stuff here and there, and some little tiny updates here and there. So, some things that are happening in the game right currently as of right now. And then we're going to play some games and run by some tanks that you probably have never seen before. And some tanks that you'll probably never see again. So, and where I'm currently at right now. So first off, I'm going to go over our little friend here. Now, during the last Christmas season, you had an opportunity to buy a dog. Now, you probably said, it's not worth it. The hell with it. Well, here you're finally going to see, today I'm going to show you why buying that dog was a big mistake. First off, every time you finish a round, he does this. Every time you finish a game, he does this. Every time you log in, he does this. Now, what is this that he's doing? Click him to find out. A little something about what he did. All that stuff. Some of the stuff he did. They gave me 3 focus on target directives and another token to increase his friendship level. The more his friendship level increases, the better the gifts he gives you. Okay? When your friendship level reaches unbelievable heights, he will give you things that cost a lot of money. Things that normally you'd have to put out real money to get. So, but that of course doesn't come easy. You have to have him for a very long time to get that. But that's what these are for. These are a token. And that token makes your friendship go up a little bit. Okay? The more you play the game, the more tokens you get. The more tokens you get, the higher your friendship gets, so on and so forth. For now, when you start out, your friendship level is pretty decent. You start out by just by owning him for 10 rounds. I think it's 10 victories. For 10 rounds, it increases the rewards for a limited number of battles each day. The bonuses apply to random battles. And the rewards, this time, on my level, I have a 10% bonus to credits, regardless of whether it's a win or a loss. So, for 10 battles, regardless of whether it's a win or a loss, they'll give me 10% bonus to credits. So that saves you from using these for 10 battles. After 10 battles, you might want to switch to one of these, because all of a sudden you're going to lose money. So if you want to just grind a tank, the first 10 battles, you might want to grind your grinding tanks for the first 10 battles. After that, then switch to your premium tanks so you can grind credits. And you could bank XP so you can use gold to transfer it to free experience right here. Okay, now we have a premium tank out right now. I haven't done one game so far today, so we need to grind our normal tanks. As I already went over with you guys in past videos, I can no longer grind the USSR tree because I finished the USSR tree. The whole country is done. So what do I do now? Gotta pick another country. What country do I pick? I'm 14 years into this game. How do I grind a whole nother country after 14 years? So I just randomly pick one. So I decided to pick China. Why? Because China is a smaller country. It gives me a chance to catch up. So as soon as I finished USSR, I immediately went right to China. So far, I'm at tier 6 right here. I have this one done. This one's done. And this one I have to purchase. So as soon as I get 1,500,000 credits, I'll purchase this one. Unfortunately, I sold this already. So the reason why I sold it was because I had to make sure that I needed the credits to purchase this. So now my goal should either be A, credits, or B, to hell with it and grind this and this. What is my priority? Well, let's see how much credits we have. We currently have 753,000. We need 1,500,000. So we're not too far off. It's really not that bad, to be honest with you. It's really not that bad. This is the tank we're looking to pick up. Now, this tank is 1,500,000. We have 753,000. How do we get... This tank is 1,500,000. How do we get 753,000? We get A, grind as much as we can our tier tanks to gain experience for the tanks we're looking to get experience with, or we could B, purchase credits with real money, which for 80% of the population, that is not an option. So we're going to skip that and go right to the hard part, which is usually the part I go to. Grinding for it the quickest way. The quickest way to grind for credits is to use premium tanks. Now, to grind with a premium tank, you have to own a premium tank. Premium tanks you could purchase at the bottom of the country all the tanks there are premium vehicles. Premium vehicles gives you a bonus to credits and a bonus to experience every game. Plus, it helps to boost the experience to the crew. So eventually down the road, when the crew is fully learned, you could transfer the crew to a tier tank. So you don't have to waste gold. So you don't have to waste gold on retrain. So you don't have to waste gold on training the entire crew from scratch. So some people do that. I don't bother doing that. I just take the hard way out and just grind the crew from scratch. Although the bonus for being able for grinding the crew in a premium tank is unreal. Let me show you what it looks like to own a premium tank that is grinded to ungodly levels. That's what it looks like when you grind a tank crew to ungodly levels. I mean, it is absolutely insane. Can you imagine how well you'll be able to pilot this tank with a crew like this? That's insane. It truly is unbelievable. It really is. Outstanding. And when you're done, the tank is completely maxed out. Everything's finished. You really don't have much to worry about after that. You can even check the service record, their experiences, and their awards. Now, don't forget, if you want to transfer experience from the tank to free experience, then make sure this is not on. If you don't care and you want experience for the tank itself, because you have stuff you have to unlock, like if you need stuff for research or field modifications, this tank does not need field modifications or anything. So this tank does not need experience. So I have one choice. Two choices, actually. I could either play this tank and transfer the experience off that tank, convert it to free experience, and put it right there where it belongs. By doing that, the tank will perform better automatically because the crew is completely maxed out. The tank will perform much better that way. Now, as you know, most people already know this. Most people actually don't. The Type 59, when it first came out, trust me, I was there when it first came out. When it first came out, it was really amazing. The tank was outstanding. It was beyond outstanding. The tank was broken to hell. too many people got away with BS with that tank. So the tank was banned, and every single tank was pulled from the market. And they waited for them to re-release that tank, and you have to buy it all over again. That has never been done in the history of World of Tanks, and of course it was done only for this tank. Only for this tank. I don't know why, but it was done only for this tank. Trust me when I tell you, this tank, when it first came out, it was broken to holy hell. The entire tank, everyone hated that tank more than anything else. Whenever they saw it and they knew it was original, they freaked out and everybody bum rushed that one tank. Right off the bat. So in reality, the tank never had an advantage because everybody in the game immediately targeted the tank. So what was the point of them even taking it off the market? Everybody knew the tank was broken. So why'd they take it off the market? When you have an entire team bum rushing one tank, what's the point of taking it off the market? I mean, everybody knows that's a magnet for shots. So let people purchase it and die in 2 seconds and say the tank sucks. I never saw the point of them getting rid of it. But eventually they came out with another version of it. This one was a special edition version of it. And people who got it, they gave it away as a test to see how it performed. And when they noticed it performed normal, then and only then did they allow the old ones to be used. The only problem is they forced everyone to sell their original Type 59s. Now you see, I sold mine a long time ago because they forced me to. But sure enough, I remember when I first started this game, I remembered one important thing. Whenever you play this game, you have the option of doing one thing. If you sell a tank, you could buy it back. See that recover vehicle? Any tank you sell, push this. These are all the tanks I've sold. Not a lot, huh? 85% of the tanks that I got rid of, I got rid of out of necessity. All the tanks that I got rid of that can never get, all the tanks that you cannot get back again, they will put here. This tank I sold because I needed credits. Now, I have an opportunity to buy it back if I have the credits. I don't have the credits. So, I needed emergency credits to finish my USSR tree. So I sold this tank. I didn't really like it anyway. So that was an option. Instead of waiting like 4 months of grinding, just get the tank, finish the country, and get done with it. I wanted to get the tier 11 so that this way you can finish the country. You see, the thing with me is, my thing with this game is I enjoy completing things, finishing things. A lot of my early tanks, I don't have a lot from the early days because I sold 80% of it, and I really wasn't worried about selling it because they're cheap, so I could always get them back. Not a big deal. The high tiers that I really enjoyed playing, I am going to get them back little by little. Now, I really and truly do enjoy playing artillery. Artillery is one of my favorites. Now, the thing is, when they gave you a free branch, I was going to choose artillery for the USSR and get all of them. But the thing is, I already had this tank. So to actually have them give me all these tanks when I already had this tank, I'm only getting this tank and all these. I don't see the point. So I really and truly do not see the point. So I decided to pick a tank that I use the least. Light tanks are tanks that I never play that often. It's not because I don't like them. I'm not good with light tanks. I kind of suck. I've seen people in this game play light tank and nail kills like crazy. But playing this game for 14 years to this day, can't figure out how they do it. A light tank has a gun so small, and they put you 2 tiers under, and still they get kills. How? I have no clue. You cannot ram with a light tank because all the other tanks are heavier than you. The only way you could ram another tank is if you're heavier than the opposite tank. For example, you're playing a KV4, okay? And let's just say an LTTB rams into you. The KV4 looks at the LTTB and goes, okay, go ahead, ram me. LTTB gets destroyed. KV4 goes, that's nice. Thanks for ramming into me. Really appreciate it. Nothing happens. Why? Because the thickness of the armor on the KV4 is ungodly. Thickness on the armor on the LTTB is laughable at best. At best, it's laughable. So, why? Because it's a light tank. It's a tank that's meant for speed and reconnaissance. A light tank's job is for reconnaissance purposes only. So, what I did was I chose, yeah, I'm out of my mind. Rather than choose this one, which would get me this, or this one, which would get me this, I chose this entire branch right there. I chose the light branch. I chose the light branch because I'm not really that good at playing light tanks. I know how to play them, but I'm not that good. Knowing that I'm not that good at playing light tanks and the fact that I just don't like them, that's fine. So I got to use my tree, my free tree on all light tanks. So I can concentrate on all the rest of them. Because I had a lot of tanks to complete. I mean, this country is humongous. Look at all this. I finished all of this in 14 years. The fact that they gave me a free tree, it's a miracle. I am very lucky I got that tree, because if I didn't get that tree, I probably would have still been grinding. Because I hate light tanks to no end. I don't really play them that well. I'm not a very good light tank player. It's not that I don't know how to, it's just I choose not to. I don't like playing them, and that's okay. People are not good at playing. Not everybody knows how to play everything. I've been playing this game for 14 years, and it's not that I don't understand how to play them. I don't like playing them. I don't like their strategy. I understand why they're important. Yes, light tanks are probably the most important tank in the game. A light tank is so important that if you have no lights, I guarantee you're going to lose. For that reason, I don't play lights. Because if I suck at my game that badly and I'm playing a light, that team is depending on that light tank to do its job. If that light tank does not do its job properly, the team will lose. You will lose the game for your team if you don't play that light tank just right. A team is only as good as their artillery and their light tanks. Artillery and the light tanks are the two most important tanks in your round. If they suck, the entire team is going to lose. Why? Light tank spot. For example, if the team blips screen and says requesting fire at mouse, right? A random team member says that. The artillery recognizes that they want fire on that member, so the artillery immediately tackles and looks into that and fires a shot on that tank they want fire on. Normal tank members will do that. What light tanks do that's different, when the game first starts, all tanks immediately roll out to their designated positions that they feel comfortable with their teammates, that they will fit in with their teammates. Now, a light tank's job, they're faster, they're quicker, and they can spot at longer ranges. Now, the trick is to pick a place to spot where there's plenty of room for artillery. You have to pick a spot that artillery can very easily hit in, and immediately start running around and spotting everything. We're talking everything. If you see a tank that's within the top tier, find a spot to hide, flag that tank down, and tell the artillery, requesting fire at this person. Now. Or just light up the entire map. Then hide. When everybody disappears, light the entire map up again. Then hide. I've seen people in light tanks do amazing things. I've seen them kill people. I've seen people in light tanks get 3 or 4 kills. It is possible. Am I good at it? No, I suck. So therefore, if I play a light tank, I play a light tank that way. Not necessarily, that's what a light tank's job is supposed to be. Now, I don't want to see in the comments, oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. That's how I know to play light tanks. That's how I play light tanks. That's how I can play light tanks, and nobody's gonna bitch, moan, and complain. For some odd reason, I have trouble getting kills with light tanks. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at it because I don't like them. If you don't like something, you're not going to be good at it. Tank destroyers, I'm not bad. It all depends on the tank. There's certain tank destroyers I can play. Certain tank destroyers I cannot. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place with tank destroyers. For example, this tank destroyer, I can play this tank destroyer no problem. 152, I don't really like the 152. I don't know why. It's okay. Gun depression's good. Firepower is for this tank's tier. The firepower is not that good. For the tier it's in, its concealment rating is horrific. Considering this tank has no turret, it needs a good concealment rating. The fact that its standard concealment rating is only 236, that's embarrassing. I can get a heavy tank higher than that. I have one heavy tank that has a concealment rating higher than that. A heavy tank. This tank has to be concealed no matter what. Of course, now, today, there's plenty of stuff you could add to a tank to make it concealed and raise a concealment rating. But to have a stock tank with nothing in it, that's a shitty concealment rating. It really and truly is. Now let's go over some tanks I own, and let's see how the concealment rating fits. Now we have this tank. I had this tank for quite a while, and I like it. I already own the ST2, so I figured, why do I need this? But I like it. I like playing it. I enjoy playing it. Plus, when they have these special events like when they have those events in Halloween time, I like using the IS2-2 because IS2-2 is, for its tier, it's a very good hitter, has a decent gun depression, a good survivability rating. Its mobility is really good considering it's a heavy tank. Concealment, it doesn't have to be good. It just has to hit. And its firepower shows it can hit. But not as good as I want it to. Now, its spotting, that's a totally different story. There's a reason why I have its spotting so ungodly high. Because this tank is pretty fast, I should say. For 427 for heavy tank is really good. I decided that this tank, for some reason, when you max this tank out and you have all the spare stuff learned, you always get caught in tier 10 battles with this tank, always. So down the road, you will learn to start moving this tank towards spotting. So this is going to be the spotter of a tier 10 battle. Knowing that you have a heavy tank as a spotter, you need to then start increasing its mobility. So, easiest way to do that is to increase the speed and concealment. How do we do that? Allow me to show you. One thing you can do to increase concealment is to make sure every member has a camo net, which none of my crew members have camouflage. There is no camo net. Obviously, this thing is not made. This thing's not made for concealment. But that's fine. Now, you have to pay attention to these symbols at the bottom over there. See that symbol right there? You have to pay attention to that. Make sure you have a skill that has that symbol in it. How do you know what has symbols in it? When you go to choose skills, if the slot has symbol, this says survivability. So that says that you can only put survivability skills in that one slot. So you can only put this in that one slot, that, and that's it. Those skills can go in the first slot. I chose this one. By doing so, all these stats now got boosted. The original stats are +8 to vehicle hit points rounded up. The fact that I put it in that survivability slot, it then got upgraded to +10 to vehicle hit points rounded up. So this class 1 skill got a boost because it went in the survivability slot. That immediately raises the vehicle hit points. It raises the suspension durability. It raises suspension repair speed. So by having this in there, you now do not need even bother using a repair kit. Why? Because the crew is going to repair any damages quicker now that this is boosted up to 20. Also gives you a nice debuff to hull damage caused by suspension damage. So if somebody attacks your suspension system and the shot strays out and damages the tank, you get a -65 to hull damage. So if somebody aims for your tracks and tries to penetrate the hull through the tracks, -65 damage will be dealt. So they receive a debuff every time they attack your tracks. That's awesome, because the debuff for the standard was only -50. With the buff, it's -65. So putting the right skills in the right slots helps a lot. Now you have to really pay attention to the tank and see what slots you have available. Not all tanks have survivability slots. Some have other slots also. Some have firepower slots. Some have speed slots. Some have, usually light tanks will have this. Medium tanks will have this. Heavy tanks will have this. And this one all the tanks usually use this one. So sometimes tank destroyers or SPGs will use these. Sometimes, once in Blue Moon, sometimes you'll see them using these. It all depends on what you need it for. For example, this gives you a +3 to concealment. Now, if you really want this heavy tank to be hidden, you will have all your crew members with 100% concealment rating. You're going to then put a low noise exhaust system, and then you're going to put a camo net. Okay? And then you're going to put, I know there's another one. There's another one that helps a lot. I don't think I have it. No, I don't have that one. Shit. I really wanted to show you guys, but I don't have that equipment. There's something else you can do as well. You may think I'm nuts, but yes, this is the thing. Click the paintbrush. Now, you've seen this before. They have 3D styles, 2D styles, paints, and camouflage. What's the difference? They look nice, but all these are completely different. Some buff the camo by a lot, some buff the camo by only a little. For example, let's say we have the Type 59. The Type 59 has a 3D camouflage, which is this right here. This 3D camo gives you a +3 bonus to concealment. So it gives you it gives you a little bit of a concealment buff. Not a lot, a little bit. So that in itself, 2 thumbs up. So it helps to have a 3D style on there because you get a concealment bonus by having that on there. Now, if you were to put a 2D style on there, you get a +3 bonus as well. See? If you decided to paint it, no bonus. Paint does not give you bonus. Now let's say we would put a camouflage. Ordinary camouflage. Do we get a bonus? We get a 3% bonus to count only for desert maps. For winter maps, you have to have another camouflage on winter maps. That also gives you 3%. Now, summer maps, that also gives you 3% bonus. Camouflage can run very expensive because you have to purchase each and every summer, winter, and desert. All three. Otherwise, your tank has nothing on it. That in itself is the reason why I use 2D styles, because 2D styles work. Most 2D styles work for all three. And I'm going to show you why. 3D styles work for all three as well. Now I'm going to show you guys what the 2D styles work for. This has one. This is a 2D style. This tank works for summer, winter, and desert. And all three get me the same exact bonus. All three gives me a plus 2% to concealment. It all depends on the country. You see, the tanks I usually use are USSR. Your 2D styles will get you a 3% bonus on USSR tanks. Tanks of other countries, you will sometimes get a reduced concealment bonus or a higher concealment bonus. It all depends on what country you put it on. The bonus all depends on what country you put it on and how the tank is situated and how big the tank is. The bigger the tank is, the harder it is to conceal. Make sure you remember that. The higher the tier, the harder it is to conceal. For example, let's say you have the Titanic. I know this is like absolute bullshit. We're talking hypothetically. Let's say you place the Titanic in the water. You want that to be camouflaged. What's the first thing you do? Well, you have to put camo paint on it. Okay, we'll put camo paint on it. Let's find something else you can camo it with. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Make sure the crew knows how to keep that ship concealed. Okay, train them. That's fine. Now, the camouflage will, even with all that, the camouflage is still not going to be as good as this one. Why? Look at the tank size. This versus this. Try to hide that. I dare you. Try to hide this. Try your best to hide this. You're not going to. So, when you have a tier 10 and 11, don't even think about camouflage. Make sure you focus on other things instead. The reason why is because camouflage with a tank this big, not a chance. Make sure everything else is much, much better. Make sure the gun is the best it can be. Make sure you give the crew the highest advantage. Make sure the crew knows what they're doing. Make sure the crew is focused on one task. If you want the gun to be the focus, because this is double gun, if you want the entire crew to focus on this gun, make sure all their skills revolve around that gun. Any skills that you find that might come in handy with keeping that gun more accurate and better and running better, any skills that they have that they can help that gun to improve better, go for it. Any equipment you could find that can help that gun. Now, we have a survivability perk right here. Again, we can only put a survivability one in here. So, knowing we can only put survivability, that means we only put these skills and only these. Now, we have a heavy tank here. Heavy tanks have what? Armor, firepower. Heavy tanks do not have speed and concealment. Now, speed and concealment, do we absolutely positively need speed and concealment? Is it absolutely a necessity? Do we desperately need it? Let's find out. Now, our firepower is okay. Our survivability is pretty decent. Our mobility, we don't care. If you have a heavy tank, do not worry about mobility. Unless you're playing a TOG. Then you have every reason to worry. If you're playing a TOG, make sure you do whatever you can to make that go-kart run faster than a motorcycle. It's insane. The TOG is the only tank I make sure I dump every speed element into that thing. Because that thing is seriously slow. Most of the other tanks, the mobility is decent, so we really don't have to worry about it. Now at this point, we have a slight bonus to concealment right here. Very minor bonus to concealment. Why? I don't know. Maybe somebody has a perk out. Maybe there's a perk active on one of these guys. Maybe one of these guys has a bonus that we don't know about. I don't know. Now, so far, I don't see anything. Other than that firefighting skill, I don't really see much. But I do see a little bit of concealment right there. Now, if you have a heavy tank, which skill would you put in this tank, knowing that this is a survivability slot? Now, the fact that these guys do not have the repair skill up yet, putting this in would boost the repair speed until you can get the repairs skill learned on all the crew members. You see, the thing is, if none of the crew members have repairs, you could still repair the tank on your own if you increase the repair speed. Repairs only increases the repair speed. It doesn't teach them how to repair the tank. The tank has the ability to repair the tank, but it's slow. To speed it up, you have all crew members learn repairs, equip this in a survivability slot, just right there, and you should be okay. Then the crew should be able to repair anything that gets damaged fairly easily. Now, what do you need that for? Light tanks. A light tank runs around like his ass is on fire. Everybody always tracks a light tank. Why? Because they're running fast. And the faster they go, if you hit them to a dead stop, someone is able to request fire at him. As soon as you track him, somebody else shoots him, he's dead. End of story. That's how you get rid of a light tank. You could very easily double team a light tank. Very easily double team a light tank. Now, if you have a light tank, you're going to focus on 100% repair speed. So you're going to work on, you're going to have a spoil liner on your light tank. Okay? You're also going to have improved hardening on your light tank. You're also going to have modified configuration on your light tank. This seems a bit excessive, but you want to make sure that your light tank with no armor is going to be able to move as fast as possible as efficiently as possible. By having a spall liner in a light tank, it does minus 60 damage to HE shells. It reduces the ramming speed and it boosts crew protection from injuries. Very helpful with light tanks, because light tanks are very easy to penetrate. Now, improved hardening in a light tank, very handy. When you have improved hardening, if the track ever gets damaged and you allow the crew to repair it, normally when the crew repairs it, it shows up as damaged but repaired. If you have improved hardening, every time the crew voluntarily repairs it, it shows it as completely repaired. Improved hardening allows the suspension to get repaired instantly as soon as the crew does its job to fix it. So, improved hardening, if you absolutely positively have to get moving, improved hardening in your light tank is an absolute necessity. Whenever you have a light tank, improved hardening in your survivability slot is a necessary thing. Now, how does this help you in a light tank? First of all, you want to improve your repair speed in your tank. The easiest way to do that is to make sure all your tank members have repairs and make sure your modified configuration is in your tank, because it'll improve the repair speed even further. The internal module durability, which means your ammo rack, your fuel tanks, your gun, are least likely to get destroyed if your modified configuration is in your tank. This tank decreases the loss of engine power when the engine is damaged. So, if your modified configuration is in your tank and someone damages your engine, the tank does not slow down to a crawl. The tank slows down only a little bit. That's it. So if you decide not to fix it, if you decide not to repair it fully, it's not that big of a deal. So, it's really not that big of a deal. Now, let's say the gun is damaged. That decreases the loading speed of the gun. Therefore, the loaders have a harder time loading the gun because the gun is broken. Even when the gun's repaired, the loading speed will significantly decrease, all because the gun is damaged. The crew repaired it, it's working, but it's still damaged. So, even though the crew repaired that part, it's still not going to work right because it's damaged. It's not, yes, the crew repaired it. It's working once again. But still, it's still damaged. As long as it stays damaged, that part is not going to work at 100% capacity. So if someone in your light tank, if someone blows your engine and your tracks, your speed is going to be reduced. Once your crew repairs that damage, you're up and running again. You're back up and running again. Unfortunately, you're going to be at a slower speed because the engine's broken, so that's going to reduce your speed, and the tracks are broken, so that's going to further reduce your speed. So your speed is going to be slower unless you use a repair kit and repair everything. Then your speed will be back to where it's supposed to be. So even if the crew repairs it, that only means it works. It doesn't mean it's back to normal. That's where you have to make sure you have a repair kit equipped. If you do not have a repair kit equipped, then the equipment is only going to work. It's not going to work the way it's supposed to. It's going to work okay. It's not going to be perfect. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing that most people don't really understand. Let's get this guy out of the way for a second. There you go. Thank you. Most people do not understand certain things, and I'll clarify this a little bit. Tanks are different depending on what they are. This is a medium tank. Now we have, let's find a light tank. Tier 8 light tank. Let's see if we try and find a Tier 8 light tank. Tier 8 light tank. Okay, here's our Tier 8 light tank. Okay. There's our Tier 8 light tank. Now we have the Tier 8 medium versus Tier 8 light. Here's the difference. The difference is obviously the size. If it's a smaller tank, it can go faster and it's easier to conceal. The higher you get the concealment rating up in this tank, the easier it will be to make it go away, to make everybody not see it. It makes it harder to see if it's fully concealed, which means the crew has to have concealment at 100%. You have to have a camo net here, and you have to have the exhaust system. Now, as you can see, I suck with light tanks because my tank is not situated properly. Now let's check my Tier 10 tank and see if I actually did that one properly, because most likely it probably didn't. Most likely it was I probably had no idea what the hell I was doing, and of course I was right. I do have concealment at a 100%. And I do have a camo net with the bonus 12%. So that does help. But I do not have the exhaust system, which can further lower the concealment. But what I do have, it allows, this is called an improved radio set. This piece of kit will allow that light tank to increase the duration of enemy vehicles visible to you. So when this light tank spots another tank, it stays visible for 1.5 seconds longer than it normally would. Now, let's say your light tank gets spotted. Because of the improved radio set, your tank will get spotted 1.5 seconds less than you normally would. So in a light tank, your improved radio set improves your concealment rating. So your camo rating goes up only because of the crew fully trained in camouflage. That's number one. The crew's fully trained in camouflage. There's your first bonus right there. Improved radio set. That improves your camouflage bonus. How does it improve your camo bonus? Well, it doesn't improve your camo rating, but if someone does spot you, you remain visible for a shorter amount of time. So it doesn't necessarily improve your camo rating, but it will reduce the duration of you being spotted. So that's a massive improvement. That's helpful. Because if they do break your camo rating, you stay alive. You stay alive a lot longer. Now, the Commander's Vision System. This gives a minus 15 concealment of enemy vehicles behind foliage. So now, if you're sitting in a bush trying to spot enemy tanks, anybody you look at gets a minus 15 to their concealment rating. Now, think about this really hard. You have a tank. Let's say that tank has a concealment rating of 15. And you look, and this tank right here looks into the bushes. If you have a Commander's Vision System, what does that mean? They have a concealment rating of 0. Commander's Vision System reduces the camo rating of an enemy tank by 15. So this will cause a hidden tank to instantly pop up thanks to your tank. And it gives you a debuff of minus 10 to concealment of moving enemy vehicles. So if an enemy vehicle is moving, you can spot them minus 10 easier, minus 10% easier with the Commander's Vision System. So this tank is a nightmare on the battlefield. Set this thing in a bush, don't move, and just move the turret. You'll be spotting 80% of the team just by sitting in one place and moving the turret around. You'll spot 85% of the team just by moving your turret and staying in one place. The longer your range of the more you buff yourself and debuff your enemies, easier it is to spot them. Now, we gave ourselves a pretty decent camouflage rating. All team members have camouflage. Plus the camo net. So that's our camouflage right there. If someone spots us, the amount of time we're spotted gets reduced. And it reduces the concealment rating of enemies that are behind foliage, moving or stationary. And it also removes 10% of the concealment of moving enemy vehicles as well. So all in all, This tank is built to spot. You don't have you can spot while you're moving with this tank and still have that same rating. You don't have to stand still. But by standing still, it will keep you hidden. You'll be least likely to get spotted if you stand still. Because the camo rating is okay with this tank. It's decent. So we don't really have to worry that much. So if you do have a light tank and you do play light tanks, I don't play them that well. But I do know how to set them up. And this is how to set up a light tank properly. A light tank's job is to spot the enemy vehicles for your team so that your team knows where the enemy is. Okay, guys? The worst thing that can happen for a team is for a team to situate and sit there and go, gee, we have a bunch of people out there and I don't know where they are. You know what, guys? Why don't we all just go left? Because nobody ever goes right. And all of a sudden, the entire team goes right. You got a problem. Here's where light tanks come in handy. Let's say we have two light tanks on the team, and there's only two ways to go. Each light tank takes a spot. One rushes ahead of the heavies, another one rushes the other way. All of a sudden, on the other side, they see the entire team on the other side. Light tank dies on the right side. Heavy tanks immediately, half of them start moving back, moving over to the other side, situating the other way. Until they get there, all the mediums and tank destroyers move to the left, and all the heavy tanks re-maneuver themselves to the right to match the other side. All because your two light tanks did their job. If both your light tanks didn't do that, you would have an entire squad of heavy tanks bolting down one side and them calling for help. And it's too late because all your heavy tanks are already halfway there. So if you go back, you're never going to make it. You may as well continue on. And they're going to get to the flag, and they're going to start capping, and you're not going to make it, and you're going to lose. All because they got moving. They were moving faster than you. Is it fair? No. Is it a good idea? Yeah. It is a good idea. Hence the reason why having light tanks is so important. Even a medium tank. If you have a medium tank spot, I mean, you don't even need a light tank. You could even have a medium tank and boost everything on it with the equipment you have available to you and the consumables you have available to you. You could boost whatever you want. Put fuel in the tank. See? If you want to boost the speed on light tank, put fuel in the tank. If you want to boost the crew efficiency bonus, combat rations. That's an option. Consumables, but every little bit helps. If you need something, it's there. It's not that big of a deal. It's there if you need it. Now, let's look at this tank and let's look at its skills. Now, I have this tank set up for concealment and this tank set up for speed. Now, let's see if I chose the proper skills. We have Smooth Ride. Gun dispersion when firing on the move is decreased by 4.4%. Now, gun dispersion usually sucks when you're moving because your aiming reticule will not go down when you're on the move because you have to be standing still. Unfortunately, fortunately for you, if you have your gun dispersion is the aiming reticule. Well, I'm going to show you guys a demonstration. That's a demonstration of gun dispersion. That's what reducing your gun dispersion does. The smaller that square gets, the easier it is to get a direct hit. Whenever you fire at somebody and the circle is really large, that gun is most likely going to miss its target, which means you have to stand there and wait for the circle to get as small as it can. By having Smooth Ride, if you're moving, it's going to stay at a pretty small size. See, now by having Smooth Ride active, it only gets bigger by a little bit. And as soon as you stop, it gets small again. See? So having this active on light tank is without a doubt the most important skill you could have the driver learn in a light tank. That is extremely important. Your radio operators. Your radio operator is who reports enemy tanks you find to everybody else. With a radio operator, you have to increase the radio range of that tank. One way, situational awareness. Situational awareness increases your view range by 2.73%. Your second skill as a radio operator should always be situational awareness. Always. If you train that skill up to 100%, you'll get a 3% bonus to view range. A radio operator's first skill they learn is firefighting. It doesn't matter what tank you have. If you have a radio operator, their first skill they learn has to be firefighting. If you don't, the tank is going to burn. And unless you have a fire extinguisher, it's never going to go out. The tank's going to burn until you run out of HP, and that's it. You're done. So, every person, skills you learn for that person helps you tremendously. For example, the commander skills. The commander, if you have a separate radio operator, the commander can help the radio operator a lot. How? Recon. Have your commander learn recon. So this way it'll boost the radio operator by a lot. Because if a commander learns recon, it increases the view range by 2%. Now, if the viewing periscope is damaged, your view range goes down by 2%. Your view range goes down by a lot. If you have recon equipped, if your viewing port is damaged, the damage to your observation device is reduced by 20%. So instead of it being 100% broken, you can't see nothing, the damage to that viewport is reduced by 20%, which means you still can see out of it, but not that well. Unless you use a repair kit, then and only then can you be able to see fully. So don't forget, repair kits, repair kits, repair kits. I don't give a crap what your excuses are. Make sure you have a repair kit handies. Make sure you have repairs kits handy in your tank at all times, no matter what tank you have, because if something gets repaired by the crew, its stats, it works again, yes, but its stats go down. So, for example, someone breaks the gun, right? And you think, oh, gun's fixed, I'm fine. No, you're not fine. The stats on that gun are going to be reduced, which means you're not going to be able to fire as fast or as accurate. The radio operator can direct you to exact coordinates, but the gunner cannot reach those coordinates as fast or as sufficient as you would before because the gun is broken. It's repaired, yes, but the gun is still broken unless you repair it with a repair kit. Even though a part has been repaired, it doesn't mean it's 100% fixed. If something is damaged, if you need that part to be 100%, then you gotta use a repair kit. If you're in a light tank, let's say somebody blows your tracks and you're in a light tank, you have to use that repair kit. You have no choice. Why? Because whenever you're in a light tank, whenever your tanks are broken, consider yourself dead on arrival. Because one shot by any tank will kill a light tank instantly. A light tank's biggest ally is its speed. Someone takes that away, it's gone. Kiss it goodbye. So, think about that for a minute. Let that soak in a bit. A lot of you are probably thinking, this guy's nuts, but I'm not really all that crazy. I've been playing this game for 14 years. Yes, I admitted I don't like light tanks. Yes, I admit I'm not that good with light tanks. But playing this game for 14 years, you see everybody else play tanks. I noticed other people playing tanks and the way they play it. So I notice very easily how people play their tanks and how they shouldn't play their tanks. I've seen people play heavy tanks totally wrong. I never say anything. It's not my place. Even though I know the right way to play them, and 80% of the time I don't play it the right way because I don't feel like it, because I want to play the game to have fun. And if I'm not having fun, I don't play the game. I know the right way to play every single tank. Do I practice what I preach? No. I don't practice what I preach because winning is not my priority. Having fun is my priority. I've been playing this game for 14 years. For the first 5 years, winning meant everything for me. For the first 5 years, everybody had to die. I didn't give a crap who you were, how good you claimed to be. My very first tank I made sure I got as many kills as I could. I'm going to show you guys what the first premium tank I ever got. Let me see if we can find it for you guys. You guys are going to laugh your ass off when you see this tank, because this was my very first premium tank I ever got in World of Tanks. I got this premium tank 14 years ago. Whenever I played this tank, my #1 priority: fire fast, fire hard, kill anything that breathes. And if it's still breathing, make sure it's dead. Give it a flat tire, then kill shot. That was my idea with this tank. Flat tire, kill shot. Flat tire meaning blow its track, then circle around back, shoot him from the rear. And I used to get away with that because this tank reloads very fast. This tank doesn't need an autoloader because the tank crew in this tank is able to reload so fast that you don't need a auto reloader in this thing. The tank crew does a better job at reloading this tank manually. This tank's loading time is faster than the autoloader. How is that possible? I have a gun rammer and a Churchill 3. With Brothers in Arms on all of the guys here. So having brothers in arms increases the crew efficiency bonus of all crew members by 5%. By increasing the crew efficiency bonus, that helps tremendously. That is one of the most useful skills ever put on a crew you could ever think of. It prevents you from getting the important skills, but that's okay. The crew sometimes doesn't have camouflage at its 100%. See that? This one crew member doesn't have camouflage fully learned yet. But it's still fully camouflaged. Why? Because I have this. Now, as soon as all the crew members have camouflage learned at 100%, I can remove this, and then put on a different module on this tank. This comes in very handy if you do not have camouflage and you need it, absolutely positively need it on that tank. If you need it at 100%, throw this on until all crew members learn it 100%, then remove it. Then you're fine. Natural cover is only a temporary skill. It's good to keep it on if you have no intention of ever putting camouflage on the crew. So, again, there's other ways to get past certain things. They have directives that not only work for your equipment, but also works for your crew as well. For example, once camouflage is learned, then you look at the tank. Does the tank have an autoloader? if the tank does have an autoloader, make sure you have safe stowage. Make sure you have that skill learned. If you don't have the skill learned, then have shell organizer. Put shell organizer in, and you're fine. If the radio operator does not have firefighting, throw that in your directives until you can have it learned. These skills, put these skills in here only if you need that skill. Absolutely need it. But you do not have it learned yet. That's the only reason why you would throw one of these skills in there. If you have the skill and it's learned, you don't need it. Do not throw these in there. Why? Because you could always put these in there, and these work better with the equipment you have in there. For example, if that one crew member had camouflage learned, we could very easily throw this. We could throw this skill right here on there, and that would further increase the loading time of our gun rammer. It would increase the loading time of the gun rammer by 2.5%. The gun rammer is already running at 10%. So it would be 12.5% loading time percent. It would be 12.5% loading speed if we had the orderly ammo rack instead of 10. So picture if we had it in the spot it's supposed to go, if that would get it would get the second number bonus. So it would be 11. 11 plus 2.5, that's 11, 12, 13. It would be 13.5% loading time. So loading would be a hell of a lot faster. It would be breakneck speed. That's amazing. Now, if we want to go a step further, a bounty rammer. Bounty rammers have, you could have up to 12.5. Where improved rammers have up to 13.5. 13.5 plus 2.5, that's 15.5% and improved. That's insane. 15.5% loading speed boost. That's insanity. Experimental. I don't seem to have an experimental loader. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I don't own an experimental loader. So I don't know if it exists. If you guys own one or have ever owned one, comment down below. I'm curious to see what it does. I've never owned an experimental loader. I only own these, and that's it. And if you want to make these go faster, which means if you get them at tier 1, which is T1. If you want to improve them up to tier 3, you have to upgrade them. Upgrading them means that you have to click this, and you have to use components to upgrade it to the next step. See? To get components, you have to take apart pieces that you have here that you don't need. For example, we have 10 survival suites. We don't need all 10 of them. We could break one of them. So you right click, should be a way to break it. Oh, get components. See that right there? All right, now here's where you break. Here's where you can get more. Now, I have 12 experimental equipments that are active on vehicles. Okay, guys? These are all the experimental equipment that I have currently on other vehicles. And these are the vehicles that I have them on. Now, depending on what vehicle, depending on if I really do want that on that vehicle, I may want to go back to that vehicle. If I don't want it on that vehicle, I can always go back to that vehicle and take it off. So if I want to break it down and improve another one, all I have to do is simply remove it from that vehicle, and that's it. So this is how you break them down. But be careful if you break them down, because once you lose these, you can't just simply buy them. And earning them is impossible. The only way to earn these is through the battle pass. If you're lucky and you get high enough in the battle pass, you'll receive one experimental equipment, one random experimental equipment, if you're lucky. Bounty equipment is even harder to get. I know there's other ways to get bounty equipment, but as far as I know, the only way to get bounty equipment that I know of is to get the premium battle pass, and sometimes the bounty equipment will be in the premium version. Sometimes. The experimental version is in the standard, but it's farther down the line. The bounty is earlier. It's earlier in. So it's easier to get the good equipment earlier on if you have the good one instead of the free one. So that's why you would want to pay extra money for the battle pass. Because the battle pass gets you the equipment you need quicker. So this way, if you run out of time, you know you're not going to make it to the very end, which I never do. I try my best to make it to the very end. I have never once ever made it to the end of the battle pass. I've tried. I tried my best. When I was working, I tried. Every free moment I had, I was on World of Tanks trying to get to the very end of the battle pass. Because battle passes are on a time crunch, you have to really grind the shit out of something. Any tank, it doesn't matter what it is, you have to grind the hell out of that tank and totally kick ass every game and try to get up there and try to get that bar up as quickly as you possibly can. Because if you can't, you're not going to make it, and 90% of the time, that's usually me. I never make it. For example, I'm currently at stage 5. Now, there's 50 chapters in a battle pass. You'll notice there's experimental equipment right there. in the normal one. Now, if you purchase the upgraded Battle Pass, here's the Universal blueprints. There's the national blueprints right there. There's your directives. Now, here's the one difference between the standard and the extended. If you want the experimental equipment, keep the normal Battle Pass until you reach I'd say until you reach about stage until you reach about stage 40. When you reach stage 40, switch to premium. Stage 40 will start getting you directives. You'll get all this stuff. Another directive. All this stuff. More standard equipment. And your bounty equipment. This is the only place you can get bounty equipment from that I know of. I mean, you probably can get it other places, but as far as I know, this is the only place that I know of to get bounty equipment. So it's always good to keep the standard one up until you reach about stage 40. When you reach stage 40 or higher than 40, then start thinking about swapping. Start thinking about paying for an improved pass. Once you get the improved pass, you'll swap to the lower. You'll immediately switch to the lower one, and that will allow you to collect everything down here. And that will also allow you to get the bounty equipment to select from. And most likely you'll probably get that 3D style. So you'll probably get this 3D style as well. This, I believe, is for a Chinese tier 9 or Chinese tier 10 tank. I think this is for one of the Chinese tier 10 tank destroyers. I think. I'm not positive. It looked like a Soviet tank, but this is definitely a Chinese tank. Without a doubt. This is a Chinese tank. So most likely, yeah, see WZ 1136 FT. So it's let's see if my calculations are correct. WZ 1336 FT. That battle pass 3D style will get you is for this tank right there. That battle pass 3D style, you'll get that 3D style for that tank right there. It doesn't give you the tank, it gives you the 3D style and the crew member for that tank. And only that tank. So if you really and truly want that 3D style and that crew member then make sure you stay on the standard path and do not go on the improved. If you don't give a crap about the 3D style or the crew member, then move over to the improved path. Or do like I said. Stay on the standard path until you reach a certain point, then get the improved pass, and then grind the hell out of the improved pass till you get to the bounty equipment. That's a really, really, really quick way of getting what you want in this game and not having to spend a bloody fortune. You still have to spend something, but you don't have to keep the improved pass up for the entire time. You have to know what you need and how much of it you need. That's what's important. Now, you really have to understand something. You really got to understand some things. There is a pretty valid reason why things are done in this game. Now, these, mind you, these are all premium tanks. All these are premium tanks for the Soviet Union, so I have a lot. Yes, I do have a lot of tanks. Okay, now we're going to go in one of my... Actually, this is one of my favorite. It's not the best tank. I find this one interesting, to say the least. I like playing this one. It's fun. It's definitely, by all means, this tank sucks balls. One of the worst tanks in the game. But I have fun playing it. And as far as I'm concerned, having fun is the most important thing in this game. So, whatever. This thing is, even though I have the camo skills active, this thing is near to impossible to hide. Due to the fact that in order to stay behind a bush and still fire through the bush, the gun has to be partially in the bush. Which means this tank is going to have its front exposed outside the bush. So you need to actually have the hull turned to the side or turned around. Which sucks, because it leaves weak spots exposed. But if you're not seen, it doesn't matter if you're exposed. So sniping with this tank, not recommended. Not recommended because the hull is going to stick up out of the bush. So people are going to very easily spot you, because when you're hiding behind a bush, you have to be at least 1 inch behind the bush, not in the bush, 1 inch behind. You have to be at the very edge of the bush, as close to the bush as possible without going in it. That's the prime spot for hiding behind bushes. That almost guarantees, as long as you don't move a muscle, as long as the hull doesn't move a muscle, that guarantees that you're not going to get spotted unless your camo rating is trash. If your camo rating is trash, then you're going to get spotted regardless. So, for example, if you have a light tank like my tier 10 that has like an ungodly view sight range, you know, with all that extra radio sets and all the extra commander sights. When you have a light tank that's jacked up like my tier 10 is, this tank, any tank cannot hide. No tank in this game can hide from my tier 10 light. My tier 10 light has the highest view capacity that I know of. I did whatever I could to make sure that that light tank could spot everybody. But it could be better if I did 100%. Unfortunately for me, I decided to work on my concealment rating a little bit. I shouldn't have did that. I should have focused on only spotting and nothing else. But again, that was my decision. I can recorrect it. It's not that big of a deal. I could always remove the equipment with gold and I'm fine. Not that big of a deal. If you don't have gold, they have tickets you have to earn to take equipment off. If you don't have gold, try to earn those tickets. And those tickets, you can exchange those tickets to remove equipment from your tank. So if you have a tank and you have equipment on it and you want to sell that tank and take the equipment off, you have to either use tickets to take the equipment off or spend gold to demount it. See? You have to either use a demounting ticket, spend 10 gold, or demount it for free if you have a premium account. If you have a premium account, then demount it. If you have a demounting ticket, you can demount it automatically. If you have 10 gold, you can demount it. If you do not have any of those three, once you put that equipment on, you can't get it off. If you sell the tank with the equipment on it, it's gone forever. That's it. So make sure you always have gold on you and or demounting tickets on you. Because if you have neither, you cannot sell any of your tanks as long as it has equipment on it, because the equipment will go away. You'll never see it again. That's why I always make sure that I have gold in my account at all times. I always make sure I have gold in my account, because if I have to sell the tank, I will use gold to demount the equipment, very easily demount the equipment. So, okay, let's now jump in a game. Just for the hell of it, let's just jump in a game. Now that we're going to jump in a game, let's see what we're going to do. This is a medium tank, so obviously we'll play it like a medium. But knowing how big its hull is, and the fact that it's backwards, I'm going to try my best to follow at the back of the pack of the top tier tanks. I'm going to try and follow at the rear of the pack. I'm going to try and follow the heavies. Because spotting with this tank is not it's okay. I can spot, but its hull design makes it very difficult for me to get spotting. So for this map, this tank, you shouldn't go right. Only tanks that are a certain speed and certain camo ratings can go right. I'm gonna have to go left. I have to follow the heavies because I do not have the speed nor the camo rating yet. I have the camo net, but I do not have camouflage fully up and running. So that reduces the camo rating. And plus, how good is the camo rating going to be anyway? The hull is right next to my gun. I have to be behind. Let's see if we can get a shot with this guy. Can I even get one shot off of him? Let's see. Nope. I thought for sure I'd be able to... Oh, wait. Something's coming out. That was a disaster. Remind me never to do that. Remind me never to do that again. Okay. Don't do that again. Wait. Wait. Camel net kicks in. As soon as the camel net kicks in, get moving. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have did that. That's my bad. My bad. I'm coming. That's my mistake. I shouldn't have did that. Huge mistake. My bad. Come on, you son of a bitch. Show your face. Who's hitting me? Oh, he was sitting right... I thought it was a rock. Son of a... bitch. I thought that was a rock. It was a bush. Wonderful. He's asking me if I'm retarded. No. I didn't see... I thought that was the end edge of the rock. I didn't know that was a fucking bush. So kill me. He's asking me if I'm retarded, yet he sat right there and died before I did. So he shouldn't call me retarded. He's the asshole that died before I did. And now the entire left side is exposed, and they're just gonna swipe right in and take the flag. Game's already over. He's calling me retarded, and yet he caused the entire team to lose. Meanwhile, I'm hanging back and trying to prevent everybody else, trying to prevent everybody else from getting bum rushed. And, well, it didn't quite go as planned because they didn't spot him well enough. See, the thing is, I had a hard time, let me see if we can get a mouse pointer here. I had a hard time seeing where the edge of the rock ended. I couldn't tell what was here because there was another tank sitting right there, and I didn't want to hit him. So he's asking me if I'm retarded. No, I'm not retarded, because I know for a damn fucking fact that an enemy can show up on the right, and it can show up in the middle, and enemies can show up on the left. So if I move up, I can get hit from the... I can instantly get sideswiped from the right side and die like that quick. Why? Because I'm a medium. I'm a medium and I have shit armor on this tank. So I have to be very careful. One shot and I'm dead with this tank. And this thing's easy to spot. So this tank is an absolute fucking nightmare. People don't understand how dumbass this tank truly is. And why I play it, I don't know. So he called me retarded for no reason because we're all dead anyway. So who the fuck cares who's retarded and who's not? We all fucking did shitty. We all did horrible. We all did retarded. We were all retarded. He's calling me retarded when all of us died? Listen to what other people tell you. Have it go in one ear and right out the other. Because you know what? I'm done with the negativity in this game. I've been dealing with it for 14 years. I went to the point where I was killing everything in sight. I pissed everybody off. They hated my fucking guts. I used to spam gold rounds all the time. I used to one-shot everybody. I finally got to the point where I said, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. After the 10th year, I said, I don't care. I don't give a flying crap if I hit anybody. All I want to do is go in there. As my 10th year playing this game, I want to go in there and only have fun and do what I want to do. And if anybody bitches to me and moans and whines, they can go whatever. So, you know what? My first 10 years, I dumped hundreds and thousands of dollars in this game. And I absolutely had to be the best. I had to one-shot everybody. I had to do everything. I had to make sure I knew every single spot in every single goddamn tank. I was obsessed. I was awesome. Eventually, I realized that I was a goddamn moron. I was doing like he was doing, calling everybody a retard. Meanwhile, I myself was acting like a retard. Instead of playing it smart and playing it safe and doing the right thing, covering your teammates, I'm watching I was dying with my teammates. And meanwhile, all the people that were hanging back were laughing at us. Now I'm the person laughing at those people and they're calling me retarded. When you're newer in this game, you always tend to rush in and just call everybody retards when they hang back. When you've been playing this game as long as I have, you've learned to hang back and not rush. Whenever you rush into a game, someone is always going to hit you from the rear or hit you from the sides. Hit you from a place where you don't see. Now, there was a rock sitting there. And there was a rock, right? And there was entry point here. There was a green tank sitting here. I was going to take the ST-66 and move it up to this spot right here. But by doing so, you have this tank here, this enemy right here, and there's two enemies this way, over here and over here. Now, there's also an entry point here. If I had moved up here, how long would it take for another enemy to spot me and hit me from the side and then hit him, which is what happened in the end. So, in the end, I stayed alive longer, but the problem is, when they died, I couldn't spot anybody. And if I moved up, I would have died. So I figured I'd hang back and wait till I spot somebody and one-shot whoever I spot. I figured I'd at least get that done. Unfortunately, that didn't happen the way we planned it because the entire team was dead and hit me from behind. But that's fine. It is what it is. So, stuff like that does happen. There's really nothing you can do about it. So, you move on. Okay, our pooch seems to have something. Let's see what he's got. During testing, a fire broke out in one of the tanks. Before anyone could react, your dog darted into the burning vehicle, helped the crew members escape. Story of such bravery quickly spread across the base. You received a demounting kit. Sounds good. Demounting kits help tremendously. With the demounting kit, you can remove one of these equipment. You can easily take one of these equipment off without spending gold. So demounting kits can be earned from him now, and you can earn them from the battle pass. Once in a while, you'll see them in battle pass. Not often, not all the time. Once in a while. The dailies, they used to back in the old days give you demounting kits. Sometimes they do. Yep, they still do. You could earn the demounting kits in the dailies, but it's hard. Because in order to get to this one, I have to complete these two first. And then complete this one. We need to complete all three of these, then this one unlocks. If you have a premium account active, these unlock. You have to get this one done, then get that one done, then get this one done. And then you have your weekly missions, which is right here, here, and here. Every week, these missions reboot themselves instantly. So now, today is Friday. So, obviously I didn't play this game a lot this week. That's the reason why a lot of these missions are not really that done. Today is my first day all week. I'm playing it. It's Friday, so there's no point in even trying to get any of these done. So now you can always click the extra mission to find out what missions you have to do currently. These are the extra missions, are missions that you can get done that are temporary. Some missions are temporary, some missions are permanent. This is active from July 3rd through July 15th. And these are the missions you have to complete. Missions have to be completed from left to right. So this one has to be done first, and then this one, then this one, then this one. You want to know what these are? They don't really say what it does. So you have to click it. So now, normally it tells you what the conditions of getting that is. But it doesn't really say, this one does not tell you how to get that mission done. They don't give you, do this, and you get that. There's nothing saying. It just says token, and that's it. So, I don't know. See, now all of them just say token, and that's it. There's no actual mission. So, there's nothing to do. It just says token. I'm guessing, so this actually tells you something you have to do in order to get that. So, you have to do 5,000 damage by July 15th. By July 15th, if you don't get 5,000 damage by July 15th, then you don't get this. But this one says select a vehicle. So, which means that you have to, I selected this one that's currently in the garage. Now, I'm trying to think what vehicle can actually do 5,000 damage. The KV2, first tier, it can do a lot of damage. But the KV2 is very squishy. So, it's also very slow. And it's also reloads. The reload speed is extremely slow. So, the KV2 is a way to do tremendous amounts of damage in a short period of time. So, our best bet is probably to pick the KV2. But it should be in the garage. For some reason, it's not allowing me to select anything. Probably because this mission is not unlocked yet. So, okay. Now we are going to do one more round, and then we're going to call it a week. So let's try artillery. For those of you guys that are not really familiar with artillery, artillery is an acquired taste. You have to really enjoy playing artillery, and you have to know how to play it. If you have no idea what you're doing, then you're gonna suck. That's all there is to it. Now, artillery has 3 separate shells. The shells you take depending on what you're gonna hit and how you're gonna hit them. If you intend on hitting a tank with your artillery, you intend on going out of overhead, you intend on hitting somebody right in front of you, you're going to want to make sure you equip armor piercing shells. AP shells only to be used if you're attacking somebody from the side or the front. If you're attacking from overhead shots, you always use your high explosive. Always, if you're attacking from the roof down, use these shells always. Never use gold rounds for overhead. Why? The damage is lower on the gold rounds. See? Damage. You want high damage. The armor on the roof is significantly lower. So you really don't have to worry too much about piercing armor because you're hitting from overhead. And there's tons of little tiny equipment, little tiny pieces like hatches and stuff like that. Tons of stuff that has cracks in it that high explosive shells can squeeze through those cracks, and armor doesn't mean anything. Now, high explosive shells have some penetration, some damage. They don't really excel a lot. That's what I don't really understand about. I don't really understand about gold rounds is that the gold rounds are supposed to have high damage and high penetration both. Now, the penetration of an armor-piercing shell is 334. That's perfect for hitting somebody from the front. High explosive shell is perfect for hitting somebody from the top. Why? Because the armor is weakest on the top. Armor is usually paper thin on top because tanks don't need armor that's that heavy on top. Because who's going to hit you from the top? Artillery. That's it. So they keep bare minimum on top. So therefore you want to use high explosive rounds if all possible. These gold rounds, useless. Completely useless. I use them for straight shot. I use them for straight shots only. For straight shots, they're useless also because the penetration is low. So you don't really need these rounds are not needed. The one thing you do want them for, you do want to use these if you want to go out of overhead mode. But the one thing that these rounds do have, that these rounds do not have, the shell velocity is the speed at which the bullet travels. That's not as important. It's important because the quicker, the higher the velocity, the quicker the bullet will reach its target. What's important is the damage radius. The higher the damage radius, the wider and the larger that shell will explode. So if that shell hits directly on top, splash damage, damage radius is splash damage. How wide is that shell going to explode? So if you want to take out, if there are 3 tanks bunched together and you have very small damage radius, let's say you have a damage radius of 5 and you have 4 tanks together. If you have 4 tanks bunched together into one, you're going to want to use this shell because this shell has a damage radius of 9.5 instead of 5. This has a larger damage radius, so you could probably do less damage to all the tanks, but you'll still be able to damage all of the tanks. So your shell is wider. So if you want to check to make sure, if you're not sure if there's anybody there and you just want to check, switch shells and take test shots with these. These are good for taking test shots. That's why I use these. Use these for test shots only. Use these if you have a target and he's visibly there, go for it. So that's how I use tank destroyers. Your reload speed is everything. Reload is so important with these artillery. Reload is the most important thing that you have in your tank. Also, your aiming speed is also very, very important. How do you get your aiming speed up? Enhanced gun lane drive is a really good way to get your aiming speed up. There's also another way. It all depends on what you have. Now, if you have improved equipment, you can use this one. This is good. As far as the experimental equipment goes, I currently do not have the one that has the Now, if I want a better experimental equipment, I would use this one, because this improves the aiming speed. This would work with an artillery. This works in artillery also. Accuracy improvement system. This and this works in artillery. This one works in artillery. Now, aiming speed we have covered. Reload we have covered. Camouflage we have covered. Camouflage is learned 100% for all crew members. That's good. Crew efficiency bonus gets a bonus 10%. And all the skills I have learned thus far for the commander improves a lot. So this should be sufficient. This should definitely be sufficient. I think the only thing, my crew efficiency bonus is officially 15% bonus to the crew. So 5% for Brothers in Arms and 10% for the crew rations. So my grand total crew efficiency bonus is 15%. Which is fairly decent. That's not bad. Now, if you wanted to increase the crew efficiency bonus even more, there is one piece of equipment you could put in your tank that would increase it even more. And where is it? It's right. The fan. I guess the fan can't go in there. My guess that the fan can't go in this tank because the tank has an open top. So when you have a closed top tank, you usually have an intake fan. And that boosts your crew efficiency, but that boosts your crew efficiency bonus. It's something, but it's better than nothing. So I think usually like a 12% bonus to crew efficiency. Maybe 12. All right, we have just enough time to do one more game, and then we're calling it a night. All right, guys, let's jump in this one battle with this Artie and see how we do. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're gonna do okay. Starting to get late where I am right now, and I'm not guaranteeing we're gonna do okay. Due to the lateness and how late it is here, I'm not guaranteeing anything. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I shall do my best. Anyway, please take this opportunity to like the video. Please, I beg you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share the video if you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy this content, please, I beg of you, like and comment. I will play this more often if I get feedback. If I get no feedback, I will play it less and less. So you want to see me play this game more often? You need to interact with the video. If no one interacts with it, then I will slow down playing the game. Now, I stopped playing MechWarrior Online for quite a long time. Until one day I had one video and I had a huge surge of likes and one comment. So I played it more often. And I had the same happen. I got likes, one comment. Out of nowhere, I did 2 more videos. I got no likes, no comments, nothing. I stopped playing it for quite a long time. And I play it like once a month, and I still get nothing. So people enjoy seeing it, the content. I will provide them content. People don't enjoy it, they don't interact, they will not see it as often. So if you want to see something, show me you want to see something, and I will provide the videos. If you show me nothing, then you will get nothing. Trust me. Let me see. Hopefully I can get... Hopefully this is not... Hopefully this... This hopefully has not blocked my shot. I know this is going to block my shot, most likely. So, hopefully this won't block my shot. The hell... Yep. See that right there? I can go as far as that. So I'm going to have to go up. I'm going to have to park the tank right there. So you can't go down there. Oh, come on.
That should keep the pressure on them.
Okay, now, remember I told you test shots? This has a water blast radius. Now this is where this shell comes in handy. This has a water blast radius. So if you're firing at nothing, you're most likely to hit something, at least, with this shell. Because the blast radius is water. So, different shells for different situations. Because nobody spotted anything, see, now you can move over to the now I can move back to the standard shells. Unfortunately, the shot's blocked due to this thing, but I'm still gonna keep my eyes open anyway. So just in case, gonna keep. Whoops.
The gun is damaged. We can't aim properly. They finally got us. Hurricane.
Nope, we did our best. We did the best we could. I was afraid that was gonna happen. Now, if I stayed in that spot the entire game, both of us would have been still alive. But see the other artillery did the right thing. I did the wrong thing. I tried to cover the left side, and left side had no coverage. I should have went to the other side of the map, completely other corner of the map, and just sat there the entire game, hoping and praying that none of the lights would come flying out of the right side and kill me. The right thing to do when you're playing as artillery in this game, the right thing to do would be to park your ass right there since turn 1 and sit there and don't move. If you park your ass right there since minute 1, you're fine. Nobody will catch you. And you'll be able to hit the entire map. Now that back corner should be right about either here, where I'm sitting right here, or right there. 2 good spots you could sit. This is a better spot because you have this to increase the camo rating. So now we have 2 guys capping and 2 covering. So we end up winning anyway. So that was a good thing. Yeah, I died. Yeah, I did shitty. But the one reason why I did shitty is because it's late. And when it gets really late, it's not recommended I play tanks this big because my brain doesn't really work that well. So, because I did something really stupid and played a tier 10 late at night and had a bad game, this happened. I earned 20 grand, earned 2 grand for the pet bonus. Reward for completing the mission and events, it's 50. Total amount earned 72,000. It cost 30,000 to repair the vehicle. It cost 13,000 to resupply all my ammunition. To resupply all the consumables cost an additional 20,000. I made only 8,210 credits. Out of 72,000 credits, I only made 8,000. Plus 7, an additional 7,219 I made also. But that additional money the additional 7,000 went to my stock reserves. The stock reserves is a bank savings account. When you have a premium account, you get what's called a stock. You get a stock reserve. When your premium account ends, all the cash that's in your stock reserve, you get in your account as soon as your premium account ends. So it's a good way to start. It's kind of like having a savings account. As long as you have your premium account active, you can start socking away money for when the rainy day hits, when you lose your premium account. So the times that you take your chances is when you have your premium account active, because your premium account gives you bonus to credits. When you don't have premium account active, that's when you start using this. You use those when you do not have your premium account active, or when you have the premium bonuses. For example, I have a premium account right now active. If I wanted a bonus on top of this premium account, you'd have to have premium bonuses, namely these. I would have to use these. When you have a premium account active, you have to use these. When you do not have a premium account active, you're only allowed to use these. This can be used on either one. Now, these can only be used if you are a member of the clan and you are an officer. If you're not an officer, you're just a member, you cannot use these or activate these. You can earn them for the team. Officers need to activate them. Now, why would you want to do this? If your clan is having a clan battle, that is when you activate these. That is the only time you activate these, is when your clan is having a clan battle. You activate all 4. When you're having a big clan battle, you activate all 4. These only work in stronghold missions. That's it. So these work only for standard accounts. These only work for premium accounts. This works for both. These only work for stronghold battles only. This is crew bonus, tank bonus, credit bonus. And this one has to do with a bonus, I think, to to clan points. I think that gets you a bonus of resource points for the clan. I think. I'm not certain. I've never activated one of these. I'm in a clan, but I'm not an officer. I've never been an officer in a clan. So I think this might be for clan points. You can use clan points to upgrade buildings, and buildings that create things like reserves, different types of reserves. It allows you to upgrade the buildings, allows you to get more resources when you need it. The more resources you get, the more you can upgrade the buildings. The more you upgrade the buildings, the faster you can get reserves, which are these things right here. A clan's only goal is to upgrade the buildings and get reserves, as much of these as they can, because if they're getting attacked, they have to be able to defend themselves and survive. And this is the easiest way to do it. To have these. If you don't have these, you're not going to really do much. So, anyway, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching the channel. If you can take a minute to subscribe to the channel, please. Subscribe to the channel. Please comment down below. Share the videos if you think someone else might enjoy it. Share it if you can. Thank you very much for watching. And please tune in on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on this channel. I'll be live on PlayStation Network. You could join me on PlayStation. Network. I'll be playing live. The only time you can play with me live is when I'm playing Warframe and Hawken. When I'm playing Warframe and Hawken, you can play with me while I'm live. If I'm not playing either one, then you cannot, because I do not have PlayStation Plus. I refuse to get PlayStation Plus. It's a money grabber, and I refuse. I absolutely flat out refuse. So that's that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later.